It's the weekend of Saturday, October 7th and Sunday, October 8th, 2017. You are listening to Inception Radio Network, voice of the fringe majority. This is Carol Carl with Off the Beaten Path. Let's check out our sky for the weekend. It's something new. It's the Draconids. Well, they're new every year, at least. Tonight, the fiery mouth of the constellation Draco the Dragon will be spitting out meteors, also known as shooting stars. The Draconid shower is predicted to produce the greatest numbers of meteors on the evening, not after midnight, the evening of October 7th or 8th. This shower favors the Northern Hemisphere. Just be forewarned, even at northerly latitudes, the Draconids are typically a very modest shower, perhaps only a handful of slow-moving meteors per hour. But watch out if that dragon awakes. The Draconid meteor shower produced some awesome meteor displays in 1933 and 1946. Thousands of meteors per hour were seen in those years. 6 years ago, in October of 2011, people around the globe saw an elevated number of Draconid meteors, despite that bright moon playing out that night. European observers saw over 600 meteors per hour in that year, 2011. As far as we know, nobody's calling for the Draconid meteor shower to burst into storm this year. But you never know for sure with the Draconids, according to Deborah Bird, who writes this for Earth Sky. So it's worth watching out for on those evenings tonight and tomorrow night as well. Just know that the meteor showers are notorious for defying predictions. They either surpass or fall shy of expectation. The only way to know for sure is to try to go out there and watch the shower, weather conditions permitting, of course. It says right here, luckily, watching the shower is lots of fun, even if you only get to see a few meteors. Just plan to spend an hour or more under a dark and open sky. Try lying down with your feet pointing northward. Most meteor showers are best after midnight, but this shower is different. It's best viewed in the evening hours. Watch for the Draconid meteors first thing at nightfall, or before the bright waning gibbous moon rises in your sky. Unfortunately, that recent full harvest moon, that happened on the 5th technically, still looks full today, means the moon will come up at early evening tonight for the Northern Hemisphere locations. There'll be a chart available later at UFOheadlinenews.com, explains it all for you with the wheres and whats of it. Most meteor showers are named for the constellation from which the meteors radiate on the sky's dome. The Draconids, however, are sometimes also called the Jacobinids, spelled Giacobinids. To honor the man who first sighted the comet that spawned this meteor shower, enter Michel Jacobini. He discovered this comet December 20th, 1900. Another sighting in 1913 added the name Zinner, Zinner, to that of the comet, so it's now 21P Jacobini Zinner. Jacobini Zinner is a periodic comet, which returns every 6 years and 4 months. Tracking this comet and noting this October meteor shower helped astronomers figure out how to predict meteor showers back in 1915. It's very cool. The folks at earthsky.org have added a taste of history related to this shower. You can go to a link to the Astronomy Abstract Service. That's part of the Smithsonian and NASA. And if you want to know more, you can actually read an article dated 1934. It's called The Meteors from Jacobini's Comet, written by C.C. Wiley, spelled W-Y-L-I-E. It's a fascinating account of the famous 1933 meteor storm. So now to end, let's consider the great Draconid Jacobinid meteor storms of 33 and 46, and that of 2011, when observers in Europe saw over 600 Draconid meteors per hour. Why was that meteor shower so good in 2011, and why do we see more meteors some years than others? Well, here's an answer. The answer is that Comet Jacobini Zinner was at perihelion, closest to the Sun in 2011. Meteors are debris from comets, so when the parent comet is nearby, a good meteor shower is possible. It doesn't always happen, though. When this comet returned in 1998, and the Draconids did pick up that year, only then to a rate of about 100 per hour. So there you have it. Meteor showers are part of nature. They're not entirely predictable. Under normal conditions, when astronomers speak of a meteor shower peaking, it's similar to a weather forecaster saying, "The heaviest rain snow is predicted for 9 p.m." Well, that prediction isn't a certainty. It's more like an educated guess, or it might not come to pass. Or it might happen for you, but not for people across town. It's a good analogy to the 2011 Draconids, which were seen best over Europe, but less well, for example, over North America. So here comes ye old bottom line. In 2017, the Draconid meteor shower, also called the Draconids, will probably be at its best on the evening of October 7th or 8th. No need to wait until after midnight. The radiant is highest in the evening hours. No one expects a Draconid storm this year, but it's fun to watch and see. Clouded out for the Draconids? Didn't see a thing? No worries. The meteor season is just beginning. Heads up, gentle listeners, we couldn't not do this story, but, well, we'll read it and let you make up your own minds about it. Here's the headline. Man claiming to be from the year 2048 says he's back with a dire warning. Nina Golgowski wrote this for the Huffington Post. A Wyoming man accused of public intoxication allegedly told police he traveled from the year 2048 to warn mankind of an impending invasion by extraterrestrials. Bryant Johnson issued his grave warning to Casper police Monday night after officers were called about the man and his out-of-this-world message. That's according to an arrest report obtained by the Huffington Post. Johnson, who police said smelled of alcohol, spoke with slightly slurred speech and allegedly told officers that, quote, the aliens were coming next year and we need to make sure to leave as fast as possible, end quotes. According to the report, he didn't specify an exact date or a time for the alien arrival. He refused to speak with nurses or doctors and instead insisted on meeting with, quote, the president, end quotes, of the town, police said. Johnson informed the officers that he was able to travel through time because the aliens filled his body with alcohol. He also claimed he stood on a giant pad, which then transported him to the year 2017, although he said he was supposed to be sent to the year 2018. Oops. Johnson, who was allegedly found with a blood alcohol content of 0.136, was eventually transported to the Natrona County Detention Center without further incident. And Nina Golgowski writes, of course, the joke could be on us when this all turns out to be true. Don't hold your breath. Here's a little curiosity. That term, space-time continuum, well, from whence cometh? So we sleuthed around. We found something called the sci-fi stackexchange.com. And here's how the question is put at that site. Which fictional work first used the term space-time continuum? And the answer, someone said, I would expect it's the post-Einstein, but probably not by too much. And of course there are the allusions to Star Trek, etc. Someone else points out it's a physics term that most certainly was used in physics papers before science fiction. And this contributor posts a link to the Wikipedia entry for that. Someone else posts a link used in non-fictional context, appearing to be a 1921 review of an article which was written by Einstein in 1920. But here's the explanation we like the best. It seems the earliest use of that full term, space-time continuum, was in 1930, something published by H.P. Lovecraft, of all people. His story, The Whisperer in the Darkness. It was first published in Weird Tales, August 1931. Here's the passage. The blasphemies which appeared on Earth, it was hinted, came from the dark planet Yugoth, at the rim of the solar system. But this was merely itself the populous outpost of a frightful interstellar race whose ultimate source must lie far outside even the Einsteinian space-time continuum, or the greatest known cosmos. But wait, there's more. There are other instances with Lovecraft using that term in stories from the same era. From The Mountains of Madness, written in 1931, but not published till 1936. Here's what we find Lovecraft writing. The old ones, but for their abnormal toughness and peculiar vital properties, were strictly material, and must have had their absolute origin within the known space-time continuum. whereas the first sources of the other beings can only be guessed at with bated breath. There is yet more. We'll post a link for you, gentle listeners who just can't get enough Lovecraft or enough weird word origin information. From the weird to, well, the still and ever weird, let's go to phantomsandmonsters.com, that amazing site run by Lon Strickler. He's been tracking the Owlman sightings in Chicago, now calling them the Chicago Phantom. They just don't seem to fit any particular mode. Here's something. It's the latest and hot off the presses, as they say. This was submitted to Manuel Neverete at UFO Clearinghouse. He works with Lon Strickler. This is a sighting dated the 4th of October. It wasn't submitted till yesterday, October 6th. Hang on, here we go. It's first person in the words of the witness. I was coming out of Dulcelandia at 2553 West 26th Street in Little Village in Chicago on Wednesday, October 4th, 2017, with my husband. We looked up and saw what looked like a large bat fly over us, a black bat. It flew across the street and over some trees. From what we saw, it must have been at least 6 feet tall and had wings that must have been 10 feet in width. It looked like it had bat wings. They looked like they were part of its arms. As it flew over, it was making a very loud, screaming sound, and it was flapping its wings as it flew over the trees. I tried to get a photo of it, but it was over the trees in seconds and gone. We walked around the block then to see if maybe we could see it before turning around and heading back to our car. But we didn't. We did see a flyer of a different kind, a flyer at a restaurant that we visited the next day, and took down the information. Now we're submitting this report. You can reach us, and then the witness gives numbers, etc., and names, but they say they're willing to talk about what they saw. Phantoms and Monsters site is terrific in terms of providing all kinds of graphics. There's a map for the actual location of this sighting. There are some photos taken later to show where it went and the track of it. And here's a note about this particular sighting. Manuel Neverete will be talking to the witnesses ASAP, and any further information will be included at this post. This is a 6th sighting now, the encounter in a 10 to 12 block radius known as Little Village. The sighting's been added to the list of sightings. Oh, it is such an extensive interactive map. We won't even attempt to describe it, gentle listeners. Head on over to ufoheadlinenews.com and go there. It's just a click away. Here's more stuff about another crazy creature, this one a little bit better established. It's an article from Newsweek.com. Here's the headline, Tasmanian tiger sighting? Grainy footage claiming to be extinct thylacine released. Hannah Osborne wrote this story. Footage claiming to show a Tasmanian tiger living in the wild has been released 35 years after this creature was declared extinct by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the IUCN. The grainy footage was filmed in the Tasmanian wilderness last November by Adrian Richardson, Greg Booth, and his father, George Booth. They kept the location secret to prevent others from seeking out the animal. That's according to the Tasmanian newspaper, The Mercury. Adrian Richardson has been researching the creature and searching for it. It's also known as the thylacine, spelled Thylacine. He's been looking for this critter for 26 years. He told a newspaper, quote, I don't think it's a thylacine. I know it's a thylacine. Others are less convinced, however. Wildlife conservationist and biologist Nick Mooney, who's known for his work with the Tasmanian devil, said he thinks the chances of the animal seen in the film being a thylacine are around 1 in 3. Bill Lawrence, he's a professor at James Cook University, part of the team looking for living Tasmanian tigers, told Newsweek the animal in the footage looks more like a red fox. Quote, insofar as one can tell, it's a blurry image, end quotes. Now, quote, red foxes are not supposed to be in Tasmania, but they are widespread in southern Australia and have evidently been reported on rare occasions from Tasmania, though it's illegal to own or import one there, end quotes, he says. Viewers were also highly skeptical of the footage, with commentators noting that the creature's barely distinguishable, and the footage is too blurry, too distant to make out what this animal is. Some also pointed out that the film was released a few days before the anniversary of the death of the last captive Tasmanian.
Computer, execute 12.4p operation.
Optimizing algorithm. Running encryption packet alpha. Night. Oh, I don't feel so good.
What is it, computer?
Is it hot in here? It feels hot in here. I feel a little clammy. I should lie down or something.
A computer with a virus? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
Those oysters Rockefeller were a mistake.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Tasmanian tiger. That animal, who was called Benjamin, was a male trapped in 1933 and placed in the Hobart Zoo. It's thought to have died as a result of neglect. The video of the animal pacing inside its enclosure was shot by naturalist David Flay, spelled F-L-E-A-Y, in 1933, and that's believed to be the last confirmed footage. Since Benjamin died September 7, 1936, there's been no official sighting of a Tasmanian tiger. In 1982, that species was in fact declared extinct, as there had been no proof of the thylacines' existence in the wild for over 50 years. But this has not stopped widespread speculation that the species still exists in the wild, and over the years there have been many unconfirmed sightings, lots of footage. Thylacines were the largest known carnivorous marsupial that lived in modern times. They are believed to have been shy, nocturnal animals about the size of a medium to large dog. Endemic to Australia, Tasmania, and New Guinea, they got the name Tasmanian tiger because of the stripes on their lower backs. The only scientific search for the Tasmanian tiger is currently being undertaken by those researchers at James Cook University in Queensland, Australia. The hunt involves 50 camera traps. Those traps are positioned around the Cape York Peninsula in North Queensland, where 2 people had previously provided detailed sightings of animals that could be thylacines. In fact, quote, one of those observers was a long-time employee of the Queensland National Park Service. The other was a frequent camper and outdoorsman in northern Queensland, end quotes. All observations, quote, of putative thylacines to date have been at night, and in one case 4 animals were observed at close range, only 20 feet away, seen with a spotlight. We have cross-checked the descriptions we received of eye shine color, body size and shape, animal behavior, and other attributes. And these are inconsistent with known attributes of other large-bodied species in North Queensland, species such as dingoes, wild dogs, or feral pigs, end quotes. We'll keep our eyes over, down, under. But let's not move away from that region of the world too quickly. Here's yet another headline. Aliens in the outback, UFO hunters claims massive 28-kilometer-long Aboriginal figure was carved into Aussie outback by aliens to let others know humans lived on Earth. Yep, that's one headline. This article was written by Jenny Offord for thesun.com out of the United Kingdom. Carved into the red dirt on Australia's outback lies the mysterious Marree Man, spelled M-A-R-R-E-E. A giant figure so immense it can be seen from space. That figure, the figure of a hunter throwing a stick, is 28 kilometers long and been surrounded by mystery ever since it was spotted by a tour flight almost 2 decades ago. And now UFO hunters have claimed that aliens may have sketched that figure on the remote region of South Australia as a marker to show that humans inhabit this planet. Mystery History, that's uppercase M, uppercase H, an organization, a website perhaps, doesn't say, made this bizarre claim, saying that, quote, a fleet of vehicles, a system of radio communication, and huge resources, end quotes, would have been necessary to create this carving. Their statement, quote, was the Marree Man created by extraterrestrials as a form of orbital indication to show what inhabits the planet? That's their statement. That's what they think. Experts have been baffled by the figure for almost 20 years now, with everybody from the United States Army to local artists said to have had a hand in its creation. This was first witnessed by tour flight operator Trevor Wright on the 26th of June, 1998. Trevor Wright noticed the outline from the air while flying between Moray and Coober Pedy, two small towns north of Adelaide. At that time, Shane Anderson from the William Creek Hotel, which is located some 200 kilometers from Moray, said he received a fax detailing the location of this geoglyph. Shane Anderson believed the anonymous fax was a joke. He ignored it. Some believe this figure was the work of South Australian artist Bardius Goldberg. That's worth a Google. Bardius Goldberg. Mr. Goldberg, who passed away in 2002, reportedly told friends he'd been paid $10,000 to create the Moray Man. Others claimed the figure was a parting gift, a gift from the United States Air Force after their time spent at the Joint Defense Facility Nurungar. They shared the base with the Australian Defense Force at Woomera from 1969 to the late 1900s. And then local hotel owner Phil Turner says a number of theories have emerged over the years about that alien involvement. Wow, what incredible content for a documentary. Speaking of which, there surely has to be a documentary in the works regarding this. We picked up the article from The Guardian. Here's the headline: Need more space? UFO-shaped home goes up for sale in New Zealand. Eleanor Ainge Roy wrote this. A rare spaceship-shaped home has been put up for sale in New Zealand, attracting international interest as sci-fi and architect nerds scramble to secure a UFO abode by the sea. It's called Futuro House, spelled Futuro. Those houses were constructed in 1968 by Finnish architect Matti Saronen. They were prefab portable ski chalets. Shaped like an egg, constructed from fiberglass reinforced polyester plastic, these unusual houses became cult designs, with less than 100 ever produced. Here's a quote from Juanita Clearwater. She's an architectural designer. She's selling her beloved Futuro. She says, quote, "There's something magical about the shape of an egg, its smoothness, its strength, and the spaceship is like that. It's an iconic shape that attracts you to it. Futuros get under your skin. It's like an adult treehouse," end quote, she said. Juanita Clearwater bought her Futuro, which features built-in furniture and a spaceship-style hatch entrance, 4 years ago. She was buying a holiday home in that small coastal village of Warrington in the South Island of New Zealand. Combining her love of sci-fi with 1960s architecture, well, owning one of this was a lifelong dream for Juanita. Whenever the Clearwater family would arrive at their spaceship for a holiday, they would be met by notes, messages tucked into the door, the postbox, notes from strangers asking to buy the house or just to take a peek inside. A geocache was also planted just outside, drawing more unusual casual visitors, adventurers, to its orbit. Quote, "There's been constant interest. We welcome that, but it is also a home, not just a work of art, and it functions very well as a home," end quotes. Clearwater's Futuro was built one of 12 in Christchurch under license and was displayed at the 1974 Commonwealth Games before ultimately being transported to Warrington in 1975. The house hasn't been moved since, and Juanita Clearwater is determined to only sell to a buyer who will keep it in situ, preserving its unique features, its charm. As a soon-to-be empty nester, Juanita is selling reluctantly because she feels that holding on to it for increasingly occasional visits would just be selfish. Transporting the home by barge or helicopter to Christchurch has been considered, she said, but it would mean ending that long-time association in its current place. The house is posted for sale on Trade Me, and its going price at this point is $289,000 United States dollars, although the buyer's intentions would be more important than the money, says Juanita Clearwater. She says, quote, "It's been beautifully preserved. It's probably the best ship in New Zealand and in the best location," end quotes. Amazing, the inside shots of this thing. If you want to see them, go over to ufoheadlinenews.com later. They will be there for your enjoyment. There's a view from the house. It looks like a painting of a landscape on the wall. Nope, it's just the gorgeous stuff outside the window. Speaking of window, our window for this weekend broadcast is about to shut, so we've gotta fly because that's a wrap. Thank you for listening to Off the Beaten Path at Inception Radio Network. Follow today's broadcast at UFOheadlinenews.com. Loving kindness. Take care of each other. We're all in this together. This is Carol Carl. See you tomorrow.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and/or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.